What is going on, everyone? I'm going to be putting in the insulation. I'm not doing foam board. I settled on something that's pretty old, and I was looking it up a while ago before I even started doing most of this camper shell build. And it's a bed rug, I believe is what it's called. Um, it's just a mat that's got the ribs in it to fill in the gaps in your truck. So I have it out here heating up. It's been rolled up in a box for a while. I got it a couple of months ago and just now getting it out. The weather went kind of cold and I didn't want to put adhesive in the back of this when it's cold out. So I think today I'm going to let it heat up. I don't know if I'm going to install it today or not, but I needed to unroll it and just get it out flat and get it in the sun to heat up to get it flattened out and ready and warmed up. But anyway, this is what I'm going with, is one of these for the inside to create some insulation. I also have inside the parts that go on the sides, the front and then the other side, which should be pretty easy. All I need to do is account for these hooks right here on the four corners, and then also this right here. So I'll have to probably unbolt that. I don't know if those wires just disconnect. Hopefully they do. And then just cut as much as I need to and then bolt this back in here so it looks somewhat nice when I put it back. Other than that, it should be pretty easy. The only thing with mine is I do have a spray-in bed liner. It's got the like textured feel to it. So I had to get an extra piece called like adhesive promoter. It's like a little pad that just helps adhere the other side of the Velcro strips to this textured spray and bed liner. The last two videos were a bit of a failure. I mean, I didn't make it through a whole night. It was way too cold in here because there was no insulation in this. So I have this week to get this bed liner in here, and then this coming weekend we're gonna get some more cold weather, so I'll get to try it out again all together with the bed rug in here and the heater rig that I did, and plus the vent also. So stay tuned for that. I just wanted to get a video out for this third part that's finally starting. I mean, I waited for all three parts to be done to upload them. So you'll just get all three parts at once, and if you want to skip around to them or you don't want to watch a certain one. The first video was long enough to warrant two, and then I didn't get a chance to actually get the insulation in. I didn't want to wait a really long time to finish one video, so this is just a third part in a three-part short series. But I will be back when either later today, not too much of it left, or get started tomorrow. But for you, it's going to be instant. Alright, it is the next day. I left it out here for as long as I could yesterday, and it was still a little curled in the front. It is very, very slightly curled in the front, but it's pretty much flat. I actually brought it in and put it in my basement and turned the heat up down there a little bit to get it warm so it would straighten out. And I'm going to go ahead and get this put in. So I did watch a couple of videos. It's pretty straightforward. There's one extra step with this if you got the one with the complete surround, and that is having the spray-in bed liner. If you have just a painted truck, you won't need to use the adhesive promoter that I have, and it's just velcroed to the truck on top of the ridges in there. You can watch an installation video. They're pretty short and easy to follow. It's just when I was looking for reviews on what people thought of it, the two that I watched said that they brought it somewhere to get it installed. So I don't think that's necessary. I think I'm going to go ahead and give this a whirl and show you guys what it's like for someone that's not in a shop and just someone that just picked it up and is going to put it in themselves. Like I said, it's already flat. All I got to do is zip this around the outside of it and then prep the surface a little more. I went to the car wash yesterday also to get the bed cleaned out, and I'm going to go get some alcohol, some rubbing alcohol, and clean, and right before I put the adhesive promoter on and just stick it down. Should be pretty simple. was a time lapse of getting this thing zippered together, which is probably the hardest part of this. If anyone asked me to do that, I would probably tell them $100. You would get like so far and it would just zip easily, and then all of a sudden you would get stuck in a spot and have to go back and forth and back and forth. And then I finally got a little pair of pliers, just a little pair of these channel locks. And then I have to be careful because I want to bust the zipper off of the, or the handle thing off of the zipper, so be careful of that. But it is all zipped up and in there. I think what I'm going to have to do is take off the clamps for the Softopper, stick this all on. It looks like this top piece is supposed to stick maybe to the underside of that, but the clamps are in the way anyway, so I'll have to take those off real quick and see how this thing fits in there. The bottom is in there pretty well. I mentioned this in a previous clip, which was probably a few minutes ago, but I've got to cut out where the tie downs go, and then also cut out on this side where that little plug is. I'm probably just going to do that off camera real quick and then just show you guys the result of that. So, I mean, most people might not have this same setup, so it's kind of pointless to show that. It's just 4 clamps, 2 on each side, and then those rails. Well, I don't need to take the rails off, but the clamps need to get out of my way for a second. And then I'll be back with you guys in just a moment when I make a little more progress. Alright, I think I'm about done for the night. I'll pick this up in the morning. I got it underneath my deck out here, so it might rain tomorrow, but it won't rain on this, so we're good on that. I'm going to flip you guys around and show you how I got it sort of dry fitted. I got to go around and put all of the Velcro strips everywhere, but I just wanted to get everything in and cut and ready to go for that. So flip you around and let you see what's going on in here. So this part was not nearly as hard as getting the thing all zipped together, and if you don't get these sides, then yours is going to be even easier if you just have the bottom part. Hop up in here. The most difficult part was this piece here, which wasn't really even all that hard. These 2 bolts came right out. If you have one of these or a light or anything else, you just take it off. There's a hole behind here. This just disconnected. I cut a hole in the carpet where this went, put 2 little holes where these go, put it on there and reattached it. No big deal. And then the tie downs are cut out here on all 4 corners. So I have this will all get straightened out once I put the strips on. This line right here, if you can see that, is where the Velcro will go. That's the stitched back side of it, so that'll all be stuck down. The other thing I have to account for, which you might not have to do, is when I put the Softopper on, I put these little buttons in, so the front of it snaps to these. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that. I'm thinking I should be able to just cut a hole in this right where these are. The only thing is making it a wide enough hole so that this fabric doesn't interfere with snapping it down, because the flap comes down like this and you snap it, so there's fabric all around where the button meets this. So I'll have to make sure I have clearance around them. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And then Velcro all this up, so it just gets held up with Velcro strips. And this is a 4th gen RAM, and underneath these plates right here, there's little plastic snap-in tabs that this top of this thing goes behind them. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there's one right there. So the thing that holds the bed cap rail, or whatever that thing is called, kind of holds this carpet in place up there. This goes all the way down the bed rail, just for a little better context. I can't really, let's see if I can get right there at the top of the screen as about as good as I can get, but it kind of flips right behind that. So once I get the Velcro on these strips here, there's one here, it's sewed into the back side, and then up here also, it should be not going anywhere. Alright, I will be back tomorrow to finish this up. I just wanted to get it all the little holes cut and roughed in real quick for the night, and then get it underneath the porch so I don't have to worry about it getting wet, which it can. For anyone thinking that you might not be able to use your truck as a truck, well, I mean, that's relative depending on what you do exactly. It might not be recommended. They say you can put anything in here and kind of just power wash it out. It can get wet, dirty, put whatever you want in it. I'm using it as insulation to camp in, but I did notice this tag here. You can't read it on the screen, but it says no fuel. I assume you don't want to put gas on this material. It almost feels like a indoor-outdoor carpet, and there's kind of foam backing to it. I think this is like a foam layer. So you got foam and then some kind of, it's not indoor outdoor carpet. You can go see what it is. It's some kind of special fabric that they have specifically made for this. So obviously this is not sponsored. I bought this. I have like 10 subscribers. They ain't gonna sponsor me to do nothing like this. But even with the bigger mat, the deal that surrounds the whole, I'm trying to get out of the light here, that surrounds the whole bed wasn't that bad. I imagine if you just wanted the mat only, super easy. And if you don't have a spray and bed liner, you just clean your bed out as best you can, use some rubbing alcohol, clean it off, stick the strips down, and you're good to go. Another thing I liked is I didn't know if I was going to put weather stripping in between the tailgate, but it looks like this flap here, once it's in place, should block quite a bit of that. And if not, I was thinking about maybe seeing what that looks like when it's all said and done. If not, I can still put a little bit of weather stripping in there if I want, but it looks like that's going to handle that problem. So that's it for right now. I'll be back tomorrow to put all of the Velcro in. Alright, we're back for, I don't know, day number 3 or 4. I took a day off and just let it sit once I got everything cut and in place. Just let it form to the bed for a day or so. So I'm almost done. I got everything fastened on the sides, the front part, and this side here. I'm about to put the tailgate piece in. This is the, wait, no. This is the extra kit you have to buy for the spray-on that's got the adhesive promoter in it, which smells kind of like a weak super glue. There's a little sponge inside of it, you just wipe down, like, so I wiped this here as well, the plastic. I think you're supposed to do this anyway. And then the spray-on bed liner wherever the Velcro strips are meeting the bed. So I watched a video where the guy did it a little differently on the front part there. He used like these smaller strips here on that because he was going to put a tonneau cover up there where so it would be sealed anyway and you wouldn't really see it. So it wouldn't matter if there was a tight connection on that edge. Which I'm just saying that because you're like whatever you get, whatever your situation is, going to be a little bit different. So that's why this tutorial, or no, it's not even tutorial, that's why this video is not in depth on how to install it, because you're going to have to decide how you want to put yours in. I'm using the smaller ones on the bottom edge of the tailgate, and I'm using a solid strip on the top edge because I feel like that will need the most for me, because if I'm camping in this I might have to crawl in and out of the tailgate while it's up, so this will see kicking and rubbing and stuff like that. But I'm giving just one update here before I put the topper back on. and then I'm just letting it sit. You're supposed to put the promoter on and let it sit for a minute or so. So that's really all it is. The only other tip I have, as you can see here, and if you watch another actual install video, they'll say don't stick this Velcro strips to the bed. Put them like I have them here. This is a piece that's stuck on there to the Velcro. So put them on the Velcro first and then lay them down on the bed so that you know that it's going to be lined up on this strip. That's the only tip I have. So I'm going to get this tailgate piece on, smash it down, pull the truck up, and then get the Softopper back on it and show you guys what it looks like all enclosed. I'll be right back. I just got the Softopper on. I'm going to show you guys just how that looks real quick. Trying to make these first couple of videos too long because I am going to try this out either tonight or tomorrow night. I did try to sleep in this in the last video. It got way too cold in there because there was no insulation. So I'm hoping that this bed rug helps with that. And then one thing I mentioned in a previous clip was those buttons holding that flap down. I was able to drill holes over the other pieces that were attached into the bed in there with a little hole saw. So it was actually pretty easy. I was worried it might fray and rip and stuff, but it actually went through pretty cleanly. So if you have anything like that, or if you want to use a hole saw to drill around anything else you might have in your bed, it works pretty good on this. But this is what the inside looks like. It's all closed in. I mean, I could almost sleep right on top of this, on top of like a bedroll or something, or in the little thin air mattress that I use. I won't because I usually use the underside of the platform I have in here for storage. But yeah, everything worked out. It looks pretty clean for a DIY job. Yeah, like I said, it seemed like the couple of videos I watched where people actually had one, they took it somewhere to get it installed, which makes sense if you don't have somewhere inside, or if it's going to be cold out, you know, if the weather's not agreeing with you, then you might have to take it somewhere, or just wait until you get better weather, unless you live somewhere where you never get better weather, then you would have to take it somewhere. Or if you can get it done in a day and don't need your truck for that day. I mean, I don't really drive this truck all that much, so it kind of just sat here for a week and did it when I could and left it underneath my deck when it rained. So if you have the time and patience, go ahead. Also, if you're relying on this for a how-to, don't, because I skipped over quite a bit. And you should probably find a video closer to your truck because it might have something specific to you. So with that, I'm going to cut this for right now. What I'm going to do is actually set up my camping stuff in here right now and just get that all set up. Whether I camp in it tonight or tomorrow night, it'll just be at my house just to test this insulation and the vent that I had. And I don't know if I mentioned in the last video, but I did have to modify the program for the vent. And I got that updated to, while the fan is running, it will check the temperatures every 10 seconds rather than leave it on the 5-minute loop, because after 5 minutes of the fan running that I put in there, it will completely empty out all of whatever warm air you have in there. Will be the same temperature as outside, so that was not going to work. So I'll see you guys in the next clip where this is all set up. I'll probably just wait until I'm actually getting in it for the night, whether that's tonight or tomorrow night. See you then. So we're in here for the final test. It is 27.9, so 28 degrees outside is below freezing. I don't think I'd ever actually camp when it's this cold, but it's nice to try this all out just to make sure it would work in case I just have the opportunity and it's going to get a little cold one night. So it's currently 45.5 on the bed of the truck. It feels a little warmer up in the air. Let me show you what all's going on in here. I've got this whole rig deal rigged up to the MOSFET driver and the fan right there. This inside sensor, and there's one outside as well. So we have this inside sensor and then that real one outside as well. Let's see if I can get this. 45, 28, and 66. This one's not too far off. You can read this. This is the web app running from the Pi Pico. It's got about 26 outside and 51 inside. That sensor's a little bit higher than that, so that could account for why that is a little off. That, and as previously stated, those sensors aren't the best, so it's not going to be exact. But I can already tell there's a huge difference in here. There's not nearly as much cold radiating off the bed of the truck, the bottom of it, or from the sides. So it already feels way better than last time, which I don't remember what the temperature was in the last video, but I feel like it was around this. It was either freezing or below, and it was almost intolerable. So just looking around, this bed rug is a lot better at holding the heat in and the cold out and insulating in general. There is one thing I haven't done in here, and that is I do have Reflectix to put on top of this, but I mean, with the heat coming up into the ceiling of this, and for what I would be camping with, and for what temperature I'd be camping with, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, we're talking about maybe going out when it's, you know, between 30 and 50. Like, this is probably the coldest I'd even want to try to camp, and I'm not anywhere. I'm at my house right now doing this just for a test. So we're just going to monitor the temperatures, the humidity too. Usually the humidity goes up when you burn propane inside of here. I guess that's one thing I didn't show you yet either, is that is running back in the corner. Once I put the bed rug in, this seam here where the tailgate meets the truck, that was kind of open, but it looks like this piece here that's on the side, so not the tailgate, but this side here is blocking that gap on both sides here, meaning that it's a little more sealed up than last time, so a little less airflow coming in. But I mean, there is still a gap over there. I've got the propane hose and the extension cord coming in. Yeah, I am cheating. I brought an extension cord for the TV and the Raspberry Pi, but I am running the fan and the Pi Pico off of the battery pack. Battery pack is right here. That's the EcoFlow. So this is check-in number 1. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to sleep out here all night. Right here where my bed is very comfortable right now. So I did try to do this one other night, and the EcoFlow was dead. So I had nothing to run the Pi Pico on, because that's the only thing I had out here with a USB port. By the time I had found something that night to run it, even for a test, it was like not really even worth it. And I almost thought tonight was going to be scrapped too, because of course nothing was ever good enough. I was moving this around, and this cable right here, the ground cable to the MOSFET driver, broke loose out of here. So I had to strip it with my front teeth and kind of put the wire through and bend it across that contact to complete the circuit on the ground side of it. So it is working. Like I showed you the web server on my phone, so it is on and running. I did do a force on. The fan does come on. So we'll just see if it will come on here in a little bit and vent some of this air out. I made it till morning. I shut the heat off around 4 o'clock just to see how well it would hold the heat in. Not too well. I think within an hour or so it was quite cold in here. It's about 10 degrees warmer in here than it is outside, so it's holding a little bit of heat after, I think it's been about 4 hours. Right when I shut it off, it was actually quite warm in here. It was probably about 70 degrees or so.
So it gets much warmer in here with this bed rug in. That makes a huge difference. There's not cold radiating off the sides and bed of the truck anymore. I have a sleeping bag and blanket, and I'm okay in here under it. If it's going to be between 30 and 50, I'd be perfectly fine in here. I would probably, if I was actually camping, I would probably turn that heater back on when I woke up. But it made it very comfortable in here for the night to sleep. Well, that wraps up this little series, and I'll see you guys in the next one.